What's the reality and disadvantages of investing in the real estate? Hi everyone, this is Charm again from Ready2adult Philippines, a channel about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and adulting how-tos. I shared in a previous video my real estate investments, and a lot of you guys have been asking for more real estate content. I want to start off again by saying that I'm not a real estate broker or agent or salesperson, but I have a couple of real estates. I currently have 3 condos with partner owners, and I also have 1 more real estate property. Being an architect, even though I'm not practicing, I've always wanted to invest in real estate. In the previous video, I showed you how we processed and got a condo for a shroom, and in this video, I'll be running you through the basics of real estate. So this is Real Estate 101 video. I know that it can be really confusing if you don't know where to start, so I hope that this video can be for that. And without further ado, let's start the video. Okay, let's start with the basics. How does it work? How can you earn from it? And why I like investing in real estate. Real estate investing is all about buying and owning a property with the intention of generating profit from it. So again, most investors will tell you that your own house is not necessarily a real estate investment. The main reason why we can profit from real estate is because real estate almost always appreciates. Why? Because land is scarce. The more developed the area is, the more people want to live in that area, and as a result, the more demand, the less supply we have. So that's basically why real estate appreciates in price over time. So how can you earn in real estate? I've already touched upon one way to earn from it, and it's capital appreciation. That means that you got the real estate property at a lower price and sell it at a higher price. So the other way that you can earn from real estate is through rental income. There's various ways that you can rent out a property. You can even rent it out just bare lot, or you can have structures there. If it's a condo unit or a residential unit, you can rent it out furnished, semi-furnished, or bare. So a lot of people like rental income because it's money that comes in every month, especially if you have a long-term tenant. So many investors treat rental income similar to dividend income, wherein they know that there is money coming in at a certain period every month or maybe every year. So why do I personally like investing in real estate? So the number one reason is I'm still young. I'm in my 20s. So by the time that I'm in my 40s and 50s, the real estate properties that I have would have appreciated well, and hopefully I get rental income from it over those decades. Number 2 reason is it acts like a forced savings. So I feel like having to pay a certain amount every month, may it be for your down payment or your loan, it forces you to put your money into an asset that appreciates. So that's something that I really like also about real estate. And the number 3, I also touched upon it already, and it's leverage. I mentioned this in a TikTok video, and a lot of people were curious how it works. And basically, I said that leverage is the social version of utang. It basically means that you're borrowing money for capital for your investments with the intention to earn. So again, it's not for your own personal property that's for personal use. It's intended for you to earn maybe through rental income or through capital appreciation. The reason why I like talking about leverage and taking out a home loan is because a lot of us Filipinos think that we need the entire amount to pay for a real estate. So if a real estate, for example, costs 3 million pesos, we think that we need the entire 3 million pesos in our bank account and pay the property in full, which I think is not really a smart use of your money. So again, if you're buying a property to earn from it and you're not using it for your personal use, I personally think that the best way to go about it is by taking out a home loan. Why? Because home loans and mortgages are one of the cheapest forms of loans at around 6 to 8% here in the Philippines. So let me give you a sample computation. Again, going back to a sample property that's around 3 million pesos. So let's assume that you do have the 3 million pesos right now. So if you use the power of leverage, usually you only need to pay a down payment of 10 to 30%. Let's say you need to pay 20% down payment. That's 600,000 pesos. And for the rest of the 80%, you take out a home loan for 15 years, 7% interest. Let's say that's around 20,000 pesos. If you then took the remaining 2.4 million pesos that you have and invested that, let's say in the Pag-ibig MP2 or in the index fund in our stock market. And let's say that your 2.4 million can earn around 6% per annum. Plus, if you account for inflation rate, which is around 3% in the Philippines, the 20,000 pesos you'll be paying for 15 years won't feel as big anymore. So let's say in 5 years, the 20,000 plus pesos that you're paying is only valued at around 18,000 pesos. And in another 5 years, so 10 years from now, the 20 plus thousand that you're paying will only be valued at around 15,000 pesos. If you're getting confused with the concept, just think about it this way. In our parents' time, 100 pesos can already buy a lot, right? So let's say they have a loan at 5,000 pesos a month. Ano na ba yung 5,000 pesos a month natin ngayon as compared to their time around 10, 15, 20 years ago? So that's what I mean when I say inflation can actually help us make our payments a little bit lighter. Lastly, the average property appreciation price is at around 3%. Now, when you live in a big city, you might argue that your property price appreciation is much higher than 3%. But just to generalize our entire country and even in other countries around the world, 3% is a safe assumption for property price appreciation. So if you take into account these factors, your money might be growing for 6%, the inflation rate at 3%, and the property appreciation rate at 3%, you have around 12% as compared to the home loan rates, which is around 6 to 8% on average. Now, let's go the other route wherein we actually pay in cash in full the 3 million property that we have. That's also another way to go about it. But there's this term in the industry that they call being house poor, when you have a property but all your assets and all your money is tied down to that property. Yes, it can maybe generate you around 25,000 pesos a month, but that's it, right? As compared to having the few more millions to maybe buy another property, invest in other opportunities, and other ways to use that capital. So again, I'm not necessarily against you paying it in full, especially if you're the type of person who doesn't have the peace of mind having that 15-year loan. I understand that, personal finance and investing is psychological. So you really have to see what works for you. Okay, now let's move on from all of that and let's talk about different types of real estate. When we talk about real estate, we mostly just think about residential properties. That includes condos, townhouses, house and lots, and etc. But what people mostly don't consider is that they can actually also get commercial properties which they can use for retail, offices, or leisure, and also industrial, which is for warehouses or factories, and also just straight out empty lots that has a lot of potential, right? So I know a lot of people are going outside the cities and looking for huge chunks of land. So that's another type of property. Okay, now let's talk about some vehicles or ways you can buy a property. So there are two main ways you can buy a property. First is directly through a developer. So when you buy from a developer, you can either buy it pre-selling. That's when the building or the property is not built yet, it's not developed yet, but you're already slowly paying for your down payment. Another way is when it's already built, it's already done, and it's what we consider brand new or RFO or ready for occupancy. And then the third way is to just buy a lot and build it yourself. Okay, now let's talk about what you need when you want to invest in real estate. First, you will need good credit, especially if you plan to loan or take out a mortgage. Good credit can be built in a lot of different ways. You can get a credit card. I will link my Citi credit card affiliate link down below. You can also take out smaller loans and pay them back always in time and in full. Same with the credit cards. And also having multiple credit cards, having and filing your ITR or your income tax annually can also help. And just really having good credit standing, meaning if you've had previous loans before, like maybe a car loan, a personal loan, a business loan, don't pay late. Don't have late charges. Don't pay them late because that will affect your credit history. So our credit scoring in the Philippines is quite new, and I hope to make a future video about it once I've particularly figure out everything already, because it seems like every credit score website gives you a different score. So I promise I'll make a video about that in the future. So once you've worked on your credit score, next is to have knowledge. So watching videos like this, going through real estate property websites or the Facebook marketplace, and just really familiarizing yourself and getting to know the location, the type of property, and the responsibilities that come with these can really help you in deciding if the property is overpriced or not, which property to get in what location, and etc. And the third thing you need is money. So I think that you should have at least 10 to 30% of the total property price already. So I know that there are a lot of promos wherein you just need to pay like 5 to 10,000 pesos every month until you've paid up the down payment. But I personally believe that you should have the 10 to 30% already saved up for you to invest in real estate. Okay, I feel like I've been talking a lot about the pros and all the glory and the niceties of investing in the real estate. Now let's talk about the cons. What's the reality and disadvantages of investing in the real estate? Number one is a huge chunk of your money is tied to a real estate. Even if you don't pay it in full, around 10 to 30% is tied down to your property, and that's big considering real estate properties can cost millions. Next is the upkeep and maintenance, especially if you are a landlord. If you live in a house right now, maybe with your parents, and it's quite an old house, you might have noticed na halos every month na lang may kailangan ayusin. So it may be the roof, the pipes, the toilet, the sink, and electricals, and just anything really. I live in like a 30-year-old house, and we always have these problems almost maybe every 2 weeks, every month. So yeah, that's really part of being a property or real estate owner. And lastly, I've mentioned this earlier, and it's being house poor. So if you don't manage your investments properly and you directly go into real estate, which is a higher form or a higher risk investment, then you might be what they call house poor, wherein meron ka ngang real estate, but when it comes to emergencies or where it comes to having to need big chunks of money, you can't easily sell your property, right? And it's also not going to be bringing enough in the short term to cover your capital. So again, that's the reason why I like using leverage when it comes to investing in real estate. And yeah, that's it for our Real Estate 101 video for today. I really hope that you got to learn something from this video, and I hope that you enjoyed it enough to share to your friends and to your family. If you like this video, then don't forget to hit thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Ring the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload another video. And I know that adulting is already hard and real estate is overwhelming, but that's the reason I make these videos for you guys. And again, this has been Charm from Ready2adult Philippines, and I will see you on the next video.